It's 3 years later and I'm down 140 pounds. Was there mistakes? Heck yes. Did I learn from them? Had to. I was sleeved in June 2019. I actually had my gallbladder removed 3 months prior, same surgeon. So it's my kind of surgiversary. Did I say that right? Surgiversary? 3 year surgiversary. So, of course, every year I always kind of sit back, reflect, see what happened. So, I just wanted to share with you my lessons learned in the last 3 years. Here are my 33 lessons learned. Of course, there's more, but I stopped at 33 things that I wish I knew before surgery, but it definitely helped me to maintain a 140-pound weight loss. Would knowing these before surgery help me? I don't know, you let me know. Put your seatbelt on because I'm going to go through them fast. First one is fat doesn't make you fat. Now, okay, I say that. Bad fats will make you fat, but good fats actually heal you. I learned early on that bad fats are actually highly processed, and once you know, you know. I challenge you to look at how some of those seed oils are actually processed and made. I challenge you to think about it differently. Quality of ingredients matter. I realized that early on that quality of ingredients matter, and that's your food, your beverages, and also your vitamins, and anything you actually put on your skin. You just have to read the labels. You just have to. And some of these things that we're putting in our bodies, just assuming they're okay, are actually not working for us. It gets easier. With this bariatric lifestyle, I know it's hard to kind of even think that this is going to happen when you're in the midst of it and you're like struggling that first little few months, even the first year, is that it does get easier. When I was first going through that pre-op, that post-op diet, and you're struggling and you're coming home and everything is just changing right in front of you. Was it hard? Yeah. Was it a struggle? Yeah. And people would tell me, I promise you it'll get easier. Well, 3 years later, thinking back, it just does get easier. Time is a great teacher and a great healer. The further I get away from my surgery date, it's just the easier it is. One of the biggest lessons I've learned through this bariatric surgery journey is that I am becoming the person I want to be. My whole bigger why when I first started was to connect my mind to my body. And I'm a work in progress always. You always will be a work in progress, but I'm slowly working towards that. I'm getting to understand who I am as a person, what I want, what I deserve. And I just keep working towards that. That means more learning. And it really has nothing to do with my goal weight. It really doesn't. This whole journey, I embraced the journey early on, thank God. And I'm becoming more confident. I'm liking who I am. I'm understanding how my body works. And I'm always working at it. You're always going to be a work in progress. I can't believe I'm saying this, but shopping can almost be fun. I'm not a big shopper. I never really was. I think maybe some of that was because I was so intimidated by shopping and not feeling good about myself and not getting what I wanted to get. But now shopping is actually fun, and I can now choose things that I want to choose. Granted, even 3 years later, I'm still kind of like, that won't fit me. Heck, that won't fit me. And then I'm pleasantly surprised it does. So one of the biggest lessons is that, believe it or not, superficial shopping can be fun. The other life lesson that I've learned through this 3-year journey is that bad habits die hard. As much as I said that bariatric life surgery journey gets easier, there are times in our life, as they always will, bad habits kind of die hard, and sometimes they start creeping back in. And that's okay. That's normal. It's not going to be a perfect journey. It's not a straight line. And the key is, and what I'm proud of is that I recognize when they're kind of rearing their head. I have a plan in place, and I try to tackle them as soon as possible. Get at the root cause of why they're happening and try to figure it out. Am I perfect? No, but I realize that I can't use food anymore to cope, distract, avoid. I can't abuse it. I can't use it as a weapon anymore. I have to figure my stuff out. Each time I figure them out, I say it's a victory. The other biggest life lesson is that I'm constantly changing and learning. As I mentioned before, I decided to embrace the journey, no matter what it was going to give me. And this whole process is about learning. It's self-discovery, about learning yourself. Yes, you'll learn about how to lose weight and what works for you and how do you react to foods. And I'm talking bigger. I'm talking about how I'm changing as a person and how I do that. And one of the biggest lessons that I've learned is that I have to continually work on myself, learn about the mental and emotional aspects of this journey, right alongside the physical aspects. You kind of have to, it's a mindset, it's a process in regards to learning how to deal with things and not using food or going down the road of the weight loss being your only focus. You have to constantly learn and change and evolve. Before bariatric surgery, I really felt stuck. I felt like things were not going to ever change. And I realized that it wasn't about the weight. It was about that I needed to change. I needed to change mentally and emotionally to make my physical weight change. The other biggest life lesson is, and I see so many people struggling with it, is that plateaus and stalls happen. You have to understand that that is a normal aspect of this journey. It's a normal aspect of what your body is doing. You want your body to do that. You want your body to kind of take a breath, reassess, and you have to mentally and emotionally figure out, what is that stall all about? Is it an actual stall? Sometimes we're losing inches, but the scale isn't moving. That isn't actually a stall. What do we really want the number? Is it all about the number, or is it about the changes in our body? The point is that you keep going. You never give up. Don't make this like any other diet before and give up. Like, oh my gosh, I had some success. Then I got a stall and then, oh my God, it's not working. So you have to think about that it is a real thing. Learn about it. Do whatever you can to kind of break it. And then you need to accept it at times because that's just normal. Stalls and plateaus happen and they're normal. Another big lesson is you just have to keep going. You're going to have bad days. It's not a smooth sailing journey, straight line. You're going to have bad days and you have to learn how to navigate those bad days. Life will always continue. Life will always throw you curveballs. You have to learn how to figure it out, navigate it through. Maybe you have a setback. That's fine. People have setbacks. You just have to learn how to figure it out and then keep moving forward. Do I want to hide in a hole sometimes? Yeah, some days I do. And sometimes it has nothing to do with my weight. But I have to realize, I have to pick myself up. I have to remember, it's not how far you fall. It's about how you get up. You got to remember to get up. One of the biggest life lessons that I've learned through this 3-year bariatric journey is that I need accountability. I need accountability from others, but even more importantly, I need to be accountable to myself. I have to be accountable for my food choices. How do I talk to myself? What are the choices that I'm doing to make myself move towards my goal? And really, this kind of life lesson is so important because it's what keeps you moving forward. It really builds my self-confidence and it works towards my goals and my bigger why. Another big lesson to learn is mental health is important. I think before I knew it was important, and of course I would advocate for my friends and family if they needed assistance with mental health and taking it serious. But I had to really realize that it is important for myself as well. And it's super important along this bariatric journey to take care of yourself mentally and emotionally. I too, at the very beginning with my psych eval during that prep stage, is that I was thinking, how can I get through this quickly? How can I give them the answers that they want? Now, thinking back, that piece, and I know that every program is different and some situations are really super, maybe even unethical, but there are reasons why that concept is in place. It is a very important piece of this journey. And looking back, wish I knew before, is that I probably would have took more time really understanding the mental health piece of this journey. I probably would have went to therapy more. I've been to therapy before, but I probably would have spent some time really focusing on this to get my mindset right. I had to learn how to process my emotions all the way through, because your fat brain thinks differently. Now I've gotten further training, understanding, research, more therapy, more support. I understand the mental health situation on this journey, and I continue to use things like exercise, movement, journaling, but really understanding that mental health is super important. The other life lesson that I've learned is that bariatric surgery, even though I think it's something like in the US, 200,000 people get bariatric surgery every year. So that seems like a lot of people, and it is. But the sad thing is not everybody gets the opportunity to have surgery. It's kind of an insurance game, of course. People can't afford it. There's many reasons for not being able to get it, even though it probably would help them tremendously. So one of the lessons that I've learned is that I need to take that seriously. I had the opportunity to have bariatric surgery. There are ways to self-pay and figure it out, but many people just can't have this opportunity. So I have to respect that fact, that I am one of the lucky ones, I guess, that had the opportunity. So I realized early on, and one of the lessons that I learned is that I didn't want to squander this opportunity. I wanted to take advantage of it. I wanted to understand and make this the last thing that I'm not going to go back to that diet industry thinking. It had to be the last thing, and I needed to respect that. Another life lesson is vitamins are necessary. I see some people just kind of like, and I get it, it's like medication sometimes, right? We feel okay, so why do I need it? Vitamins can be expensive. They're not all created equal either, but they are essential as a bariatric patient, because first of all, a lot of us were vitamin deficient before having surgery. We just didn't know it. Maybe it wasn't as obvious. Were we getting lab work before? I wasn't getting lab work all the time. I didn't know I was deficient. But typically we are deficient before having surgery, and then we have to be on top of it, because no matter what procedure you had, you are having absorption issues. So we have to make sure that we are getting the vitamins and minerals that we need, and electrolytes to sustain and maintain weight loss, but more importantly, to be healthy all the way around. The other thing, kind of parallel with vitamins, is hydration. I never had a problem liking water or, actually getting the water in, but I realized that a lot of us are actually dehydrated before having surgery. We just our bodies got used to that. But hydration is important for weight loss, of course, but there's so many other reasons why we need to be hydrated. It is the kind of foundation block of so many things in our health. So I had to learn, and some days I win and some days I have to really, really work at it. But hydration is important. It's really about getting the liquid in. It's not about a certain amount. It's not about that. You'll get used to what your body needs, but you have to make it a priority. One of the big lessons, and I had to teach myself to be okay with this. I know that's going to sound funny, but I don't miss being fat. I have been obese off and on majority of my life. As a child, as a teenager, I've had thin years, I've had thicker years. I really worked at being a person who didn't try to let my weight keep me from doing the things that I wanted to do. Of course it did, naturally. Of course there's a lot of shame and guilt and all those things that go with being obese. But part of me, having bariatric surgery, deciding to have bariatric surgery, that I maybe would miss the fat me. But you know what? I don't miss the fat me. I'm the same person underneath. I just am evolving as a better person, but I don't have the weight to keep me burdened down. I don't have it keeping me from doing things. I can't use it as an excuse anymore. I can't use it as a scapegoat. So I don't miss the fat me. Now, did it take a while for my brain to catch up with my body? Did I have some body dysmorphia? Of course. And some people suffer from it a lot more and need to get additional support, but I don't miss the fat me. One of the biggest life lessons is understanding regret. So, do I regret having the surgery? No. Was there times that I regretted during my 3 years? Yeah, of course. I think everyone regrets at certain stages, at different levels, because you just don't know to know when you're in it. Time, as I said, is a great healer. It's a great teacher. And so, do I have regrets now in having the surgery? No. But I do have one regret that maybe I just wish I understood before having the surgery, is that it is a mental and emotional process as well. And so maybe the one regret is not really understanding that before having surgery. I think I wish I would have known that before. I think it would have helped me. But I do understand that, do I regret maybe not having the surgery earlier? Maybe, but I think it's more about not having the mindset before. No matter what I was trying to do to lose weight, and that understanding it's not about actually losing weight. It's about all the other things that happen that you develop and learn how to navigate through life and not using food. So maybe my one regret is that I didn't understand that concept before. One of the biggest life lessons that I learned, and my bariatric team, don't get me wrong, nice people, super nice people. I've understood that they really are more focused on the surgery and the recover process, and they just don't, a lot of programs just are not created the same, and some do not have anything in regards to understanding. It's just one tool in the toolbox. It will force your body to kind of upgrade, but really it's about the mental and emotional tools that we need. The other thing that I've learned is that it's really important to learn from long-time losers. Of course, we are looking for answers when we're in the journey and when we're struggling with things, but it's really important to learn from the long-time losers. Our surgeons will tell us this, and it is true, is that first year is kind of a honeymoon period. The hard work really happens after the fact, when you get into year 2 and year 3 and continuing on to have long-term weight loss surgery success. That's your goal, is to have long-term weight loss surgery success. I personally did not want this to be like all the diets before, so I really committed to that, and I chose to learn from the long-time losers. For me, one of the biggest life lessons is, for me, sugar is evil. Straight up, sugar is evil. I've learned so much about sugar and some of this kind of chemical sweeteners out there. Sugar for me is evil, and I've learned how to curb my cravings. When I remove sugar out of my diet, I don't crave. So, do I never have sugar? No, I'm not saying that, but I try probably 80% of my time is how to remove sugar out of my diet. It's addictive to me, it causes cravings, and I've learned how it destroys our body. So that is up to you on what you think you need. I just know for me, sugar is evil. One of the biggest life lessons, and I've heard the cliche before, is that I finally have learned to eat to live, not live to eat. I literally, before surgery, was sometimes weeks, maybe even years, if I was being honest, I was eating I was getting up in the morning just to eat sometimes. So I was really living to eat. And what I've learned, and the freedom from it, is knowing that food is fuel, and it's meant to fuel your body so that you can do all the things that you want to do. Another thing I've learned, and I'm going to have bariatric surgeons mad at me, and some people even, but it's another thing when you know, protein shakes are just disgusting. They really should not be part of your long-term journey. Did they help us get through that kind of pre-diet and post-diet? Yes. But let's look at the reality of this. There's a reason why they can be shelf stable for years. So look at the ingredients again and just look at what's happening and what do you think long-term that's doing to your body. Am I saying that protein shakes should not be part of your diet? Maybe, but there's definitely better quality protein sources out there that you can get. You just got to do the research and look at the ingredients than the ones that we were so used to pre-diet and post-diet. For me, my biggest lesson and what helps me sustain a 140-pound weight loss is that I've chosen bariatric keto and intermittent fasting to help me maintain my weight. I'm not saying it's for everyone. It's definitely for me. I actually even got trained further on how to work with bariatric ketogenic living. And I also have incorporated intermittent fasting. Now, before some of you go out there and go, oh, I'm going to do that. You really have to understand what intermittent fasting is, and you have to work up to it. It's like a muscle. You have to train it before you just jump in. You have to figure out how to do it properly. Straight up, just really simple, your bigger why. Why are you having this surgery, and why are you continuing to commit to all the things you need to do? It's your bigger why, and it has to be more than weight. It's as simple as that. It has to be bigger than the number on your scale. It has to be bigger than that goal weight, and it has to be bigger than a category on a very outdated BMI chart. Another big lesson is, and the reality is, that I've learned that I have supporters and saboteurs in my life. I had to learn how to ask for help. I had to learn how to support myself, and I had to learn how to support others. I had to remove, honestly, some people that were just, for whatever reasons, trying to sabotage my journey. I had to realize that sometimes I self-sabotaged as well. I've learned that you always should ask for support, not permission. And sometimes with some people, even our loved ones that we just assume should know, you have to tell them exactly how to support you. Another big life lesson with this, and maybe I wish I knew before, or really, I don't know, can you understand this until it happens? But regain is real, and sometimes it happens, and it's kind of a normal part. If you're having weight loss surgery success long term, you're gonna understand you do have setbacks, and that might include regain. It is manageable if you don't revert back to that old diet mentality, that old diet thinking mentality. You just have to ask yourself, what got in your way, and can you make those changes? Another lesson that I learned is that I had to really teach myself how to listen to others, but how to listen to myself. And that includes my body, like my body signals. I had to kind of step outside myself sometimes and listen to what I was telling myself, that self-talk. You just have to really teach yourself how to listen. Listening helps you kind of respond appropriately to what your body needs. If you don't understand that your body is a machine of many parts and that all these parts work together, you're gonna be very surprised, or maybe you'll be like trying to figure and confused that when we impact one part of our body, other parts of our body have to pick up for that. It has to work harder. So it's really important. And what I learned is that I had to learn that my body is a machine and it works from many parts. So I have to kind of look at it as a whole and understand how those parts impact each other. Probably one of the biggest lessons that I learned is how to deal and how to improve and how to make my relationship with food healthy. My relationship with my food impacts my mental, emotional, and physical health. I know this is another cliche, but it's so true for me anyways, is that I needed to learn how to embrace the moments. The journey really is more important and impactful than your destination, than your goal weight. You have to choose positivity every single day. You have to choose to be 1% better every day. Will you have setbacks? Like I said, yes, you will. You just have to learn how to navigate those, and you have to keep moving forward. You have to kind of live in the present. I was a person who actually either lived always in the past with regret, or I was living fantasy thinking in the future, and I had to learn to embrace the moments in the present. I learned that my best self is when I live in gratitude. Am I perfect with that? No, but I really try to begin my day with gratitude and end my day with gratitude. No matter what, no matter how I'm struggling, no matter what life has given me, I gotta find the gratitude, how to be thankful in the moment, because there's always something to be thankful for. To succeed, another lesson to succeed, no matter if it's in this weight loss surgery journey, or if it's in life, or it's in your career, or in your relationship, I must learn from other people who are successful that did it before me. I refuse to kind of listen to people who want to influence or impact you and they have no knowledge of it. Some things, it's the people who've lived through it that can give you the real talk about it, who can have the space and the time, like if we're talking about our bariatric surgery journey, actually have the time to understand that to succeed, you really need to learn from others that have gone and walked before you. And the other biggest life lesson is through this bariatric surgery journey, my surgery journey of being 3 years, is that life is short. There really is no tomorrow. There's only today. I have to choose every day to make great choices for me today. Watch this next video if you want to handle the truth. I think you can handle the truth. You need to understand it, because the cliche is true. Truth sets you free. You got this.